find out whether or not this person is using you, whether or not you are taking care of them, here's the questions I have for you. Relationships should be reciprocal, meaning you pour in, you pour out, they pour in. You pour out, they pour in. You pour out, they pour in. And I said this a million times, right? You guys have heard me say this before. You pour out, they pour in, so that your cup is never empty. Your cup is never empty. Can I say that again? Your cup is never empty. If your cup is empty, I'm going to give you my mother's advice. You might have someone who's used to being taken care of. They're used to being done for. And so they've learned that they don't have to do because people are going to do for them. And then what's going to end up happening is what my mother said. You're going to make that bed and you're going to have to lay in it. You're going to have to lay in whatever the consequences are. And a lot of the things that my mother said, I had to lay in the consequences of them all. And I really wish I didn't have such a thick skull. But I'm also my mother's daughter, right? I wish I didn't have such a thick skull. So some of the lessons I didn't have to learn the hard way if I would have just listened to what she had told me. Because the elders know, because they're coming from experience, right? But someone also told me that people don't learn from talking or hearing. They learn by experience. But there has to be a way for us to learn through other folks' experiences. I really think that there has to be a way that I don't have to get burned to learn that that's hot, right? Is there a way for me to not get burned to know that that's hot? There is a way. And that is to listen to the advice of the elders. Listen to the advice of the elders. They're not going to tell us nothing wrong. Unless, of course, they have their own terrible experiences, right? So, that's one advice. The other advice that I have is, if for whatever reason you are lonely right now because you don't have a Valentine's, or you don't have a Valentine's. You don't have a Valentine's and you're feeling lonely right now. Maybe because the person that you thought you were in a relationship with, maybe it wasn't what they thought it was. And so now you're having to really deal with some truths. And the truth is what I gave, was it real enough to have this moment called Valentine's Day? All of the lovemaking that I've given my body to this person, only to be treated like I'm nothing. The hardest thing a woman could ever do is to learn how to deal with rejection. I don't care what anyone tells you about femininity, what they tell you about dressing up, what they tell you. I don't care what anyone tells you. The hard work, the shadow work, it lies in the fact that you must understand that rejection is going to happen throughout your entire life. For as many no's that you're going to get, you're probably going to get hundreds of them throughout your lifetime. All you need is that one yes to change your life. And not everybody is going to be for you. You're not going to be for everybody. And that's the beauty of life, is that you're not meant for everybody. And everybody is not meant for you. That guy that you love so deeply, who constantly breaks your heart, who constantly leaves you out in the cold, who constantly disrespects you, dishonors you, and treats you like you don't matter. I'm here to tell you something, and you have to understand this. He's just not that into you. The hardest part is understanding that. Because let me tell you what women do, what we do, because I've been there before, right? What we do is we make excuses for why someone didn't show up for us, right? Well, he couldn't show up for Valentine's Day because he's going to be with his mother. He's going to spend the day with his mother. He's going to be with, maybe, well, he does so much good on every other day. I'm going to allow him to stay to do what he wants to do. Super Bowl was yesterday. He was up all night at his friend's house. He's probably tired. Let me allow him the time to do what he wants to do, right? We make excuses for it, for people who don't show up for us. And we go searching the internet to figure out what he means when he says this. What did that text message mean when he said that? What did this text mean when he said that? Let me help you. Let me help you. The biggest thing, the biggest hurdle you could ever jump in your life is to learn how to deal with rejection and to do it in a way that is graceful. That is graceful. And to learn how to bow out in full grace. When someone shows you that they don't adore you, they don't honor you, they don't respect you, they don't love you, please listen. Please listen. There's nothing better you can do than to unclog your ears and listen on a soul level. Listen. A lot of us hear what we want to hear because we think that if we can just soften the blow from what the truth really is, it won't hurt as bad. But let me tell you something. Hurting is okay. Hurting is okay when you learn how to deal with your feelings and learn how to deal with your emotions and start to learn how to deal with rejection. The first thing you have to learn how to do is to be okay with whatever you are feeling. Learn how to be okay with the feeling of rejection and feel it and be okay with it. Feel that rejection. It is going to hurt like hell. But let me tell you what it is going to do. It is going to build your emotional muscle. It is going to build that emotional muscle. It is going to build your muscle in such a way that if someone says, honey, I don't want you anymore, you say, oh, okay. Well, good luck to you. It was so good, all of the love that we were able to make. And I'm so happy that we were able to spend the time that we were able to spend. But I wish you nothing but the best. How good would that be if you could tell somebody that? That takes training. That you can't just arrive at that. Like, oh, okay, well, screw you. You don't just arrive at the screw you mark. You don't just arrive at the okay, bye mark. You don't arrive there. You know how you get there? You get there by learning how to deal with rejection and taking the truth for what it is. If the brother said he don't want you no more and you just ain't it, the number one thing that you should do is take it as truth. If he said he don't want you in that kind of way, don't do yourself a disservice by trying to make excuses saying, oh, well, he's just afraid, or he's just scared, or he's been hurt before. Take it for what it is. He's not into you. 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 Sister, he's not into you. He's not into you. I want you to hear it over and over again. He's not into you. He's not into you. He's not into you that way. He's not into you that way. You got to hear that on the soul level. Because once you hear it on the soul level, it's not just surface, right? It's on the soul level. And then you'll feel that pain of feeling like, wait, why wasn't I not enough? And what does she have that I don't have? All those questions that you're going to have because that's what we've been trained to ask, right? But in my books, we're trained to ask something else, right? But you got to ask yourself those questions and allow yourself to have those questions. But surely after, snap the hell out of it. Remember who you are and get yourself back out there. Get yourself back out there after you've dealt with what you dealt with. Feel whatever you felt. Get yourself back out there because, listen to me, not everybody is forever. Not everybody that you come across is going to be your forever person. Not everybody's going to be your forever person. They're not all meant to be your forever. Some of them were just meant to show you how to cook a real good macaroni and cheese. And some of them were meant to show you how to love completely. And others were meant to show you how to feel good in your body. And others were meant to show you how to communicate effectively. And others were meant to show you how to allow yourself to completely be sensual in a monogamous relationship, because I enjoy what that means. That means we get to completely learn each other and to evolve and and explore. It's enough to explore one person, but to be able to explore and learn another person, that I don't have the capacity to do that, but there's some women who do, right? So I'm not against it at all. But for me, and the way I'm set up, I have to be number one. I love gifts. I have on one today, right? I love gifts. I love being the woman of interest. I love being that's my wife, and feeling like, some people are like, I don't want to be owned like a thing. I'm not a thing. Girl, listen, own me. Yes, I love it. I love it. Own me, own me, own me. I don't mind. I'm not a thing. Oh, listen, for me, I can't talk for everyone else. Okay. For me, I completely enjoy that, when the husband says that is my wife and he's extremely proud of that. That is my wife. Because he takes care of home, and he's not afraid to be called a simp or a wimp or something, because in his mind, I got the best thing smoking. We could walk up in any room and not a damn man could say they had my wife. Not a nan, that's a pride, that's a pride. Not a damn man could say they had my wife. We could walk up in any room. She's going to shut it down. Okay? My wife is going to shut it down. My wife is bad. Not only is she bad, but she's smart, and she doesn't talk too much when she's out, when she's out and about just overdoing things. She's in the cut, and that is my woman. That's my wife right there. I get pride out of that. I feel like I get like, oh yeah, that's my husband. I love that. I love that. Especially when you're the wife that's not like everybody else. You're the wife. Like, oh, that's such and such wives. Oh yeah. Yeah. So if I'm giving you that much, that much that you can lead your life with that nobody else has had your wife. You know that your wife is the bomb diggity, okay? And she cooks, and she goes to bed looking good. Okay? If I'm giving you all that, okay, then what I want in return is loyalty, monogamy, and I want you I want you to stick by all the things that we agreed on. And that is to make sure that we create a sacred relationship and a sacred bond that is different from all the other ones that we see out in the real world. That's what I want. And so that's what I can share. But there's some people who haven't established that sacredness of that bond, or they created a relationship with someone who is consistently, you know, loving and liking someone else. And people don't want to admit this. Is that somebody said to me, "Well, Karima, it's impossible to love more than one woman." What are you talking about? What? If I was a man, listen to me. If I was a man, I would love more than one woman. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Yes, go ahead, put it on record. If I was a man, I would love more than one woman. Are you insane? Have you not seen women recently? Oh, listen. I've seen so many beautiful women. And not only are they beautiful, some of them are smart as a whip. I'm talking about smart. Can tell me how to balance my checkbook, honey. If I was a man, I would love more than one woman if I could. And if the woman that I love was okay with me loving another woman, why wouldn't I? What? It's the ultimate feast. I can love more than one woman, and the women that I love are okay with it. Honey, if I was a man, I will be down with it, okay? I'm spending the 14th with you, boo. And I'm spending the 15th and 16th with you, boo. And on the 17th, I'm spending that with you, boo. If I was a man, I would absolutely do it. Yes, I would. Oh my God. Are you dumb? Have you not seen how beautiful women are? I mean, everywhere I look, and I'm a woman, everywhere I look, I see another beautiful woman. And you can say, well, they're all beautiful, but they don't have the same personality as me, and I'm better than da, 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 da. Yeah, yeah, yeah. If you want to tell yourself that because it makes yourself feel good, then okay. If you want to be the one, that's the one, okay. I'm talking about beautiful women are everywhere. And if I was a man, and my woman was okay with me having her on the 14th, and her on the 15th, and her on the 16th, I would do it. I would do it. If I was also a man, and I could have her on the 14th and her on the 15th, but I would get in trouble, I probably would try. I probably would. Probably would. Probably would. If I was a married man, absolutely not. And here's what I'm going with this. You can say all day long, well, if you are in a committed relationship, that person owes you fidelity. No, that person owes you nothing. You've made no commitment beyond just getting to learn and understand whether or not you guys want to spend your life together. Until you make that decision that you want to spend your life together, until you make that decision that you guys are committed and you want to spend your life together under a certain set of terms, no one owes you anything, not even fidelity. Now, that's going to be something that you may never hear anyone else say, especially not a woman. But again, read my books and you understand how differently I think. But I don't believe that anyone who's not your husband owes you anything. I don't believe that. I don't believe that. I believe that if someone wants you in their space and they invite you in your space and you agree and you say, yes, I'll be in your space, enjoy the time that you have together. When you're spending time with someone, you think for 1 second, I'm in the space of a man that I completely adore and he's handsome and he's fine. He's 6'2" with a large back, and girl, he is fine and smart and he's decent. He's a decent human being full of humility. What? You think I'm going to be thinking about some other woman? You think I'm going to be thinking about some other girl? You think I'm going to be thinking about anything outside of the time and moment that we have? Are you out of your mind? Absolutely not. I'm completely right here because I don't know how long this moment is going to last. So I'm going to get all of it. I'm going to enjoy all of it. It's not going to be heavy. It is going to be a blast, darling. Yes, that's what it's going to be. And then until next time. And if you call me up and say, I want another next time, and I want another next time too, oh, baby, where we going? I'm down. Get another next time. Dating is just building a collections of next times. That's what it is. A collection of next times. When you are a girlfriend, you are building a collection of next times, right? You're building a collection of next time until you can spark, that I'm about to flip the switch. I understood all of the next times were leading up to this moment. I want this woman to be my wife. Will you marry me? It's a collection of next times. And when we can understand that relationships are about a collection of next times, it's not too difficult. We don't go searching Facebook and Instagram and everybody try to figure out the next girl, the last girl, blah, 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 where he's at. We don't do any of that because we understand that this dating experience is supposed to be about really learning and exploring each other and creating a collection of next times. Hopefully next times. Because I could say that was the last time. And if I decided that that was the last time, I really want people to get this. This is my greatest one when I'm writing my books, right? Is if dating is a collection of next times, hopefully next times, we got to also understand they're going to end at some point with either one or two things. This is the last time or a lifetime. Dating is a collection of moments and times, a collection of next times, hopefully next times. They're going to end with one or two things. This is the last time, or I want a lifetime. That is what dating is about. All of the other stuff is unnecessary bullcrap. Unnecessary heartbreak, unnecessary drama, unnecessary, because if we understand that dating is a collection of maybe next times, then when we get time to spend together, we don't worry about any other time but the right now. And so we are able to make love passionately. We're able to cook together in the kitchen and have a good time and dance. And he walks by and slap you on the bottom while you're cooking and y'all dancing in the kitchen. And you guys are enjoying that moment. And then you go home to your place. And he goes home to his place. And then when you get home, he wants to make sure you're home. Baby, you got home safe? Yeah, I'm home safe. That was fun. Oh, thank you. I had a good time too. What you doing on Friday? Well, if you would like to see me on Friday, I would love to see you too. I'll see you on Friday. A collection of maybe next times. And then, once I've learned who you are, I can see how you act when you're with the waiter. I can see how you treat the doorman. I can see how you treat your mother. I can see how you treat your sister and your siblings and everyone else. And I realize I don't want to do this life without that person. At that point, you make a decision on what's going to work for you and your relationships to go forward into the future with. And you create a covenant between one another. You create this idea on how you want this relationship to go. It's an agreed upon statement or rules or whatever. However you want to look at it. If you want your marriage to be a prison, so be it, right? But you create this thing. And only then are you indebted. Only then are you responsible for upholding everything you said you would. But until then, we're just creating a collection of moments. And if February the 14th is one of them and you want to spend it with me, oh, thank you. Thank you. I'm so excited. I'm so excited about today. I'm so happy you wanted to spend this day with me. Not you're obligated to spend this day with me because I am your girlfriend. You're obligated to spend today with me. Where you going, where you been, where you at, blah, 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 blah. Because today is February the 14th and I ain't getting no flowers. Versus, I'm so honored that you bought me flowers. You thought about me on this day. Thank you so much. I'm so grateful. I also thought about you too. I was hoping you thought about me. And so when you look at it from that perspective, you guys are sharing time and energy. No one's obligated to give you anything unless you're husband and wife. Unless you're husband and wife, no one's obligated to give you anything. They're not obligated to give you their February the 14th. And if they decide that February the 14th is not the day that they want to spend with you, my darling, hear me out. It's going to hurt. Yes, it's going to hurt. It's absolutely going to hurt. If they decide that they want to spend their February 14th with someone else, I want you to go back to my mother's message. And I want you to find some truth in it. And I want you to build your emotional muscle real strong, okay? So that when you are preparing yourself for the next moment or the next person, you're ready for it. You're absolutely ready for it. But anyone who decides to spend their February 14th with you, don't just think of it as like some trivial thing, Understand that time is something that people can't get back, men or women. So if I spend my time with you, please understand how valuable that is. And don't take it for granted, because I gave it to you. And I gave it to you in this capacity. And so if you can appreciate it, then that teaches me something about you. But also, the opposite of that is true too. If I decide to do something else with my February the 14th, can you also be okay with that? Well, that's some grown woman stuff there. That's some grown woman stuff there to understand that people have a right to choose how they want to spend their time. That's some grown woman stuff there. When you understand that people have a right on how they spend their time, you do not take for granted where they decide to spend their time with you. You don't take it for granted. And you cherish it. And when you do that, they of course want to spend more time with you, right? It's like a chain reaction. But no one's obligated to do that. You're not even obligated. If someone decides to spend their February 14th with you, I want you to really understand how important that is. And don't lose the moment. Don't lose the moment in trying to think about other stuff that doesn't matter. Take that moment for what it is and enjoy it. And on the contrary, if they decide that February 14th is not a day that they want to spend with you, understand one or two things. Either they're not that into you, or what you thought was true is not entirely true. It might be true to you, but perhaps it's not true to the other person. That takes a lot of guts to understand. That takes a lot of maturity to understand, to accept, and to also be okay with and to be unmoved. That takes a lot. And I'm hoping that for you. I'm hoping that this video is going to help you. He's not that into you is not a bad thing, darling. It's not a bad thing. Because not everybody's going to be that into you, and that's okay. But the person who should be into you, when he's into you, oh, darling, you're going to know. Until next time, be empowered, be inspired, and be well.